oh my. We were talking about Trudeau and climate, and we have a little video of Trudeau calling David Suzuki his friend. And apparently he gets a lot of climate advice from his friend, you know, because the world's going to end. It was supposed to end this year, according to Greta Thunberg 5 years ago, but she deleted that tweet last month. Rhea.
Right,
You know, was that premature? I mean, the year still has 8 months to go, right? So, you know, maybe she is right, but why don't we roll the video and we'll weigh in on the other side.
It's harder and harder to find people who are flat out denying that climate change is real. There still are a few, many of them conservative politicians, but
he throws that in.
You know, farmers seeing their fields more flooded, seeing their growing seasons affected, seeing new pests coming in because of warmer weathers. You know, engineers having to build differently because the floods are getting more intense when they're building bridges. Like the challenges and the shifting and the cost of climate change is increasingly real. But at the same time, the opportunities as a motivator to deal with climate change are becoming more and more real as well. We're seeing, I mean, because for a long time, people like my friend David Suzuki and others have been telling us, if we don't change our ways and protect the environment, the world's going to end. We're all in big trouble. And that has scared a few people into behaving better and being thoughtful, but it hasn't led to the massive shift that we need. Because it's, you know, the tragedy of the commons. It's like, even if I do everything I can, if they're still polluting, I'm going to hurt my own quality of life, and we're still going to end up in the toilet as a planet. So what we've had to do is change the mindset across the board. One of the best ways of doing that is to actually put a price on pollution. That's what we chose to do. And it was a huge fight when we did that. But if individuals and families and companies and businesses understand that the more greenhouse gases they emit, the more there's going to be a cost associated with it, that's incentivizing people to change. Now, the problems with prices on pollution is so much of our society these days is grounded in things like oil and gas that emit carbon when you burn them, that it brings extra costs for families.
Yeah, do you think?
You know, Dreas, blackface has done it again. He has conflated weather and pollution with climate, which are different things. And by the way, I don't know where the venue was, but I guarantee you those members of the audience, they are members of a blue-collar union, because blackface, he did his Mr. Dress-Up routine again. He got rid of his jacket. He loosened his tie. Gets the shirt sleeves rolled up. Hey, I'm one of you. You know, Drea, we are suffering right now. Inflation is out of control. Interest rates are soaring. Look at the food bank usage. It's grown exponentially. And here's my point. Even if you believe that putting a tax on carbon is going to save Canada or save the world, there is an out for Justin Trudeau and his Liberals, and that is, we are committed to the environment, but due to the harsh economic times in which so many Canadians are in, we are going to suspend the carbon tax so that you have some more money in your pocket. That's the message that would resonate. But no, it's all about him virtue signaling, isn't it?
It is. And what was really concerning to me there was the talk that he's talking about, sort of the psychological spin on what he's doing there. He's talking about, rightfully so, how some of the propaganda messages that they put out scared people into behaving well according to whom, right? And he says that's not good enough. Now we have to come after everybody to, in a way, essentially force those who cannot afford these taxes to comply. That is very concerning language coming from the leader of a so-called free nation. And you're right, there's no focus on how much we are suffering as the individual average middle class family and below right now. But there's also no talk about where the main emissions are coming from in the world and what can be done about that. And it's certainly not Canada. So,
100%. I mean, while we're being taxed for, if you look at Alberta, that is ethical oil. I urge everyone to read the book of that very title, Ethical Oil by Ezra Levent. We're being taxed to death. And yet you see the likes of China adding hundreds of coal burning plants per year in their country. I mean, how does that make any sense? And also the rhetoric of Trudeau, if we don't do this, we're going to end up in the toilet. Blackface won't end up in the toilet. We know he likes to stay at $6,000 a night hotel rooms when he goes over to Europe. So yeah, one rule for thee, one rule for me.
That's a clip from something we call Rebel News Daily. It's our daily live stream hosted by my friend David Menzies, but the show also includes a rotating cast of hosts and special guests, including me. It's a great way for us to talk about the news of the day as the news is happening in an unscripted fashion, and it's an awesome way for you to interact with us as well. We stream every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Mountain, wherever you find Rebel News. See you there.